Today I am helping you take your manifestations to a whole new level. I am helping you manifest faster. I am helping you manifest bigger, and I am helping you manifest more by stopping limiting where or how your manifestations are delivered. My name is Kath Kyle, and I help you hustle less and manifest more through my coaching, courses, and club. So first of all, let's talk about how manifestations are actually delivered. When you go through the process of using some kind of manifestation technique, what you do is you create an image in your imagination of what you want to manifest. And then God, the universe, the infinite intelligence, however you want to refer to God, I like to use the word God will bring that manifestation to you in the quickest way possible, in the best way possible. If you are trying to manifest lots of things, then God will engineer that everything shifts and changes to bring that manifestation to you. But there is another way that your manifestations appear, and that they only appear naturally. They only appear in a natural way. So what does it actually mean for things to appear naturally? For things to appear naturally, it just means the way things normally are in nature, with your surroundings, the things that you see in your physical reality that you haven't actually physically created yourself. That's what naturally means. It means things that happen without your input, without you having to force, push, and change things. So because we believe that things happen naturally, the way things are in nature, that means that we are actually limiting how our manifestations are delivered. Like, say, for example, I said to you that if you want to manifest money, how would that money manifest naturally in a way that you would believe was natural? You would probably say that I would believe that that money would come to me via my business, via a job, via a gift. I might potentially find some money lying around, but that would be the only natural ways that I would expect money to come to me, because I can't physically force money to come to me. I can only manifest money and then see it in nature, see it in the surroundings, in the place where God has placed that money for you to manifest. You wouldn't believe it was possible for a hole to appear in your roof and banknotes to start wafting down from your roof. I mean, that you'd say, oh, that's a miracle, but it would probably freak you out so much that you probably wouldn't want to manifest again, because you'd think, well, I don't want random holes appearing in my walls, so I'm not going to start manifesting that because I'm a bit too freaked out, because that's just not normal, that's just not natural. I don't want that to happen. So therefore you limit yourself, because you are only expecting the manifestation to appear in a natural way. So let's have a look at nature and the word natural for a minute. A lot of people limit nature itself because people think that nature is fixed, that the laws of nature are fixed and can't be changed. They think, well, this is the way things are, and that's just the way they are always going to be, and therefore I can't have my manifestation because it's just not natural. But I have been listening to a scientist recently called Rupert Sheldrake, and he is well known for having a banned TED Talk, and you should go and listen to that. It is fantastic, but it got reinstated and now people can watch it. But he has coined the term morphic resonance, and he has proven through decades upon decades of research that the laws of nature aren't actually fixed at all. That what you have instead is actually habits of nature. And habits, as we know from our own habits, they can continue in exactly the same way forevermore, or they can be broken. You can stop the habit, you can change the habit. So he said that every species in nature has their own habits, not laws. So every species of trees, of animals, of humans, everything in nature, everything can be changed and can evolve. And so not only can these habits be changed and broken, but he also proved something very interesting that if you're into spirituality, you probably believe anyway, but that every species has a collective memory that's actually outside of their physical body, outside of their brain. It's outside, it's in the energy field, and all of that species shares that collective memory. And what that collective memory actually means is that that species can evolve and improve and grow and change based on one particular instance of that species that improved something, and that information gets passed telepathically to other members of the species. And he proved this with rats because he had decades of research on different rats, and he put them in a maze and he assessed how quickly the rats could go through the maze. And they showed that they tested the speed of which the rats went through the maze, and as you would expect, the faster the more times the rats went through the maze, the faster they got. Now you would know through, if you believed in evolution of species, that the offspring of those rats would also be able to go through the maze faster because that species has evolved, and a lot of people believe in that. But what he actually demonstrated was not just the descendants of that particular species of rats could improve how fast and effectively they went through the mazes, but other groups of rats who are in other areas of the world actually improved how quickly they went through mazes, because they tested them before and after and shown that those rats could actually go through the maze more quickly because of the rats in a different location. These rats had never met, they were not linked together, they were not in the same family of rats. And he did this with lots of different species, and he proved that they have this collective memory that helps that species to evolve and change their habits. And it's the same with humans as well. He did studies with crossword puzzles, and he proved that people who did crossword puzzles in the evening actually did them much more quickly and better than people who did them in the morning, because there was a group of people who'd actually successfully completed those crossword puzzles already throughout the day, and it just got easier for the human race as a whole. And you can see this in a lot of different things. When one person gets an idea to invent a certain thing in one country, usually somebody in another country completely unrelated, they might not have even had a conversation, would get that same idea to improve and change something. So this happens with all species and humans as well. So what does this mean for our manifestations? Well, this is really exciting, because it means that you shouldn't limit how your manifestations are delivered naturally to you, because nature is constantly evolving, changing and improving. And because you are part of the human race, there are people over the other side of the world that have learned to do something that you can tap into, so you can improve how to do it in your reality. Just because you don't think that you are able to manifest something, that your manifestation is impossible, somebody else might have found the solution to it over the other side of the world, and all of a sudden you can have access to that same thing. I want to share an example of a manifestation that I had, a big life-changing manifestation that materialized, that I thought was actually impossible, that I didn't believe could actually happen. So I had for many years a desire to move to a warm climate and have all of my extended family around me at the same time. I wanted to live in a hot, sunny country, have all my extended family around me, live right next to the beach, a lovely sandy beach, and have a house overlooking the water with a lovely sea view as well. Don't ask for much, but it was placed on my heart. It was something I desired, and therefore I couldn't shake it off. I just wanted it to happen. I desired it so much. So I did use certain manifestation techniques. I created a memory in my mind of it already happening, and But then part of me just didn't believe it. Most of me actually didn't believe it was possible to manifest this thing. And the reason was because I couldn't see how it was physically possible to get everything that I wanted. I could see how certain parts of it could manifest. I could see that me and my husband and my kids could move abroad to a hot, sunny climate, but then my extended family wouldn't be there either. Or I could see that I could move to one set of my extended family, but they were all scattered all over the UK. And the UK is known as a cold, windy, rainy climate with changeable weather, so that wouldn't really fit with my manifestation of being in a hot, sunny climate either. But I still just kept on desiring it, and I just kept visualizing it. And then one day my husband said, I've got a job in a country called Wales, which is in the south of the UK, and that was near my brother, and a lot of my extended family had ended up there, but my parents were in England and we were in Scotland, so everybody was completely scattered. But we were going to move from Scotland to Wales, so most of my extended family were in this same location. But the weather was still very changeable, but I was still happy anyway. I thought, yes, I'll definitely take that. I'd love to be close to my family. Wales is a much warmer place than Scotland, so I'll definitely take that. The move was quite stressful, but everything just completely lined up. I believe that God just moved everything together, all of the moving pieces. We didn't even pick a place to move to with a beach, but because of the school places, we just ended up in a beach town that had a lovely sandy beach, and the only rental we could find was minutes away from the beach, minutes walk away from the beach. So that all lined up amazingly. And then as soon as I told my parents that I was moving down, they suddenly announced that they wanted to move as well. They'd been living in their location for over 40 years, and we'd asked them if they wanted to move before. They'd never wanted to move. It seemed like they were just fixed there and they were never going to move, but all of a sudden they decided to move down as well. So things were difficult for them. It was during lockdown, COVID happened. Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong, but still everything just worked out and they ended up moving down as well. And then to finish off the manifestation, an amazing thing happened. We moved down in the March, and from March until right the way through until November, the weather was hot and sunny. It was so hot, it was just like being in Spain. It was the kind of weather where you're so hot you just want to run and jump in the sea, which is exactly what we did every single day. It was hot and sunny every single day. There was only a very short amount of rain, maybe for about 2 weeks in the middle of this entire spell. And locals said they'd never known anything like it. Usually weather is very changeable, up and down. It was never normally hot and sunny in March time or October time, but it just continued the entire year, and it meant we could enjoy the whole of that period of time at the beach outside. We weren't allowed to meet inside because of lockdown rules, so we had all this beautiful weather to enjoy time with our immediate family, with our extended family. And the house was just a few minutes walk from the beach, and then we ended up buying our dream house with the lovely sea views right out of the window right next to the sea. So this manifestation absolutely happened, and all of the pieces fit together. If you'd had asked me as a human being, how could this physically happen, I would have told you it's impossible. I don't see how this would ever happen. This is just never going to happen. We don't get the weather. My parents are never going to move. We don't have the budget to live right next to the sea. We didn't plan to live in this area because we assumed that my husband had to be close to his work, but that didn't happen anyway because he ended up working at home because of lockdown. So all of the pieces that needed to happen to get this manifestation to materialize amazingly fitted into place. I did not think it was natural for this manifestation to happen. I didn't think it was something that could happen in nature. I didn't believe it could happen, but this just demonstrates that if you keep visualizing exactly what you want and you you don't shut out your manifestations completely and you keep on visualizing, then they can actually happen. So even if you think something's impossible for you right now, just keep seeing it in your mind. Just keep visualizing in your mind, even if your brain is telling you it's not possible, it's impossible, I don't believe it. Just keep picturing it in your mind. Just have that lovely image of it in your mind, because it will happen. And if you want to know exactly how I manifested my dream life, I used a technique called creating a reverse memory. And I have a guide to that you can get underneath this video. And if you've liked this video, if this video encouraged you, I would love it if you would like this video to help other people to find it. And if you are interested in manifesting success in your life, in your work, in your business, then I encourage you to check out the other videos on this channel and subscribe if you like what you see. And if you want to take things deeper, then I have a business manifestation club where we do a particular challenge every single month and dive deeper into manifesting success in our businesses, in our work, in life in general. And now it's your turn to go and put your stamp on the world.